crucial role that the teacher still plays. With the massive influx of technology we've had in the education sector, I think the role of the teacher has never been more important. A lot of people will say, teachers get out of the way, let the tech do the work. I am absolutely against that. I have seen schools that have dumbed down education as a result of relying too much on technology, and I've seen amazing things done with technology. It's just a tool. As Arthur C. Clarke says that, and I think that's a really good way to think about it. The second thing is, and this is my daughter. I've got 3 girls at home, and they're in all of my presentations, examples, photos, because they're the best source of royalty-free imagery. I don't have to get parents to sign off, you know, when you want to show parent. So I use my girls, and they say, "Dad, put away the camera," but I do it anyway. But I sat down with Isabel, she's in grade 3 at the moment, and I said, "Izzy, what do you want at your school?" And she started off with tuck shop, canteen, great playground, swimming pool. So I said, "No, Izzy, think about in class or out of class and think about the learning. What do you want? Pretend that I could make your wish come true." It was the most insightful 15 minutes I've ever had as a parent or a teacher. She started talking about she needs quiet time to brainstorm and imagine things. She said that most of all, she wants to talk about her learning. She wants to share with other students, and she wants to speak. She does not want to sit and listen to teachers for 4 and 5 hours a day. She's only young, but she's adamant that that frustrates her. And we know by the research that we'll see here, kids don't learn by sitting and watching. They don't. So if you haven't ever done this with students, any age, just sit down and ask them, what would you like in a lesson? What do you want to be doing? Do you want to be using tech more? Or do you want it put away? Do you want to just get out the pen and paper a little bit more and do sketching and so forth? Ask them, because it's about them, it's not about us. A big group the other day, and I said, you know, draw the person next to you. And you had to draw, just sketch the person next to you. And what's the first thing teachers say when they show them? Sorry. It's just amazing. It's like, why do you know, you've got low levels of self-esteem in the creativity aspect of it. Teachers often do that. They put themselves down, and yet we should be celebrating. Have a look at this. That's what kids do. Look at this. Look what I did of you. But teachers are often, they're a little bit down on each other. Okay, so my experience, not as exciting as that, but yeah, it's just a sleeping bag. I wrote a story in primary school at grade 5 about a purple sleeping bag, and it was a horror narrative, a horror story. So that was the spare sleeping bag in a house, and every time a kid brought his friend over, they had to get that out, and it just basically ate him and stuff like that. So it was quite disturbed. But what I recall about this wasn't the bit I remember. The bit that I remember was I was proud of it. I wasn't a talented writer. I really struggled with literacy. I still struggle with spelling. But the thing that I remember was I published it. Now, back in those days, it wasn't digital. It was a page and a half of lined paper with my best Queensland cursive writing. It was a cardboard on top that I spent a lot on the artwork and the cover, and it sat in the library. And I watched people read it. And I think that's one of the reasons why I publish quite a bit now, and I just get it down, is because of that time. And so it had a big effect on me going forward. And that's sometimes what good tech is all about. It removes itself so the kids can focus on the learning. My daughter was using an app called Topia. It's a world-building app. It's like Minecraft on steroids. I'll show you it in a minute. She was playing in her room. It's just a game app. Apparently no educational value to it. And she sat in her room and she was creating her own planet, inserting animals, creating mountains, gorges. And I listened, and she was telling a story as she was playing. She was doing this as she was doing it. And I said, Em, how about you write a book on it? Nah, don't want to, Dad. Haven't got time. I'm doing this world. But I persevered. I persevered. I pushed a little bit. Because I'm a dad, but I'm also a teacher. And I think, as I said before, we're kind of the architects of learning. We design the experience. We put them in uncomfortable positions sometimes because we can see the greater picture. And once she started the book, she just flowed. She loved it. Do you know what? I introduced coding into our school not because of the jobs that they'll get at the end of it. I introduced basic coding in our school because it teaches them how to think. It teaches them logical, sequential thought in a fun way that's challenging, where they can press test, see if it's right, and then fix it. It's such a really powerful thing to teach kids logical thinking and trial and error, see if it works, what went wrong, I'll try it again at a very young age. It's really powerful stuff. That's a little Sphero robot. You're probably aware of those. And you can do some block code, press play, and make the robot do things, which is pretty cool. And also drones, which is great as well. You can make drones go. It's block code. Well, kids are not writing pure code. It's just block code. It's a little bit like Scratch, if you're familiar, if you're on a PC platform and stuff like that. We use Scratch Junior in the early years. We work up to Tickle and Hopscotch apps. And look, we're getting some really good results. The kids love it, and they're producing a product. We want kids producing products, whether it's books, whether it's a game, whether it's... and it kind of worries me, because how can I plan a learning pathway for that student if I don't know where they are? Whiteboard paint on all of the walls. Kids can write on the walls. Did you know big companies like Microsoft and Google all have this? And why do they have it? Because it's a form of making learning and making thinking visible. Brainstorming, getting it out of here somewhere else. And it's powerful stuff. There are a couple of my grade 5s coding, writing scripts of code that they'll then put in a hopscotch and test and see if it works. And I wish I took a video, but these kids then collaborate, rub out each other's code, add to it. It's really good. Imagine that in literacy with brainstorming or writing stories together, and, you know, it's really good stuff. I know a lot of schools that just have the tops of their desks that are whiteboards now, and you can kind of write all over that. I love the visibility of that. I reckon that's really cool. I hate promoting New Zealanders. We have a really strong rivalry like you guys, and no, we don't like them. But Mark Treadwell is a brilliant man for someone that we don't like as much. He talks about conceptual learning. This is one of the most amazing things and amazing PDs that I've ever been on. I sat and I listened to Mark, and I said, this makes sense. I had no idea, I didn't know about this earlier. And Mark Treadwell talks about concepts. He talks about us, humans. As humans, we are conceptual beings. We don't learn the big concepts through rote learning. What's interesting about Topia, not in the educational category for apps. Just shows that it's the teacher's imagination and creativity often. So I'm zooming in. Beautiful. I can tap up here, put in some more trees. I can zoom out, spin my planet around if I need to. I can go in here and just say, okay, I'm going to put in some mountain ranges by dragging my finger around the outside of it. And then I can maybe go down and create some little lakes and waterways. So what we did is we create, oh, this was, by the way, is what Emily used for her book. Yeah. So what we did is we said, okay, make your own world, put in a species, and I talked through what the species were, what the creatures were, and we put in a Pinot to start with. Oh, I better go up here. I don't think Pinots are good swimmers. So I'll go here. These are Pinots, and they're herbivores. And I put them in. Look, not great swimmers, and probably not the most intelligent of animals. So do you know what? Oh, let me go out a bit. Yeah, it's not good. Let me put some over here. Okay, cool. And so I got them to write down notes, what they were seeing. Not good swimmers, dumb, all those things. And then one of the kids said, Mr. Hamilton, what are the love hearts? And I said, go and see your PE teacher and health teacher. But it's the visual, isn't it? It's the visual. I don't know about you, but I'll never forget greater than, less than sign, because my mum told me to put little teeth in and it always ate the bigger one. So that was AR back in 1978. But it's those little triggers, those little things that really make a difference. So I'm finishing off now, and I guess my final point is, regardless of what platform you go with, what device, you'll make the informed decision. Every school needs champions. I do not know of one school around the world that's doing amazing things that doesn't have either one or a couple of champions that's leading the cause. Making thinking more visible, more use of multimedia, those sort of things. So thank you for your time, and I hope you got something out of it.